much better. Oh. Of course, my name is Pat Zweifel. My name is Pat Zweifel, and I'm the fourth generation in this town, Tillamook, and I was exposed to this property probably 4 years ago when I started having cross-country races here, 5 years ago, and it's just an amazing property, and I never really considered that I could own it someday. But about 6 months ago, actually, Don, you're the one that sent me a text saying you should try to get some people together and buy this place. I already considered it before then, but in any case, I got some great people, a good team, and we were able to get the deal going and start working. So yesterday was our first day, and there's a lot to be done. I'm a little bit anxious during this interview because I just really want to get to work. I've been waiting 6 months for this, and it's really hard for me to stand still this long. So,
well, we'll make it quick if we can.
Thanks, Don.
So, then what is your? You're looking at an opening date here in the spring, and so what are your immediate plans?
Well, our immediate plans is to improve the greens, improve the tees, get the grass down to appropriate levels. But it is the middle of January, so there's really only so much you can do. But when the sun shines, we'll be out mowing. The greens are super low in pH, so we can get some lime on the greens, get some fertilizer on the greens, and so we got a lot of work to do in the greens. So ultimately, we do what we can. We got a lot of trees to prune, so we can do that in the rain. So our goal is to be open April. We'll be open April 1st. Really, optimum golf conditions will be more like the middle of May. But there's a lot of anxious people to start golfing, so we'll give them what we can give them. Real anxious I'm looking at these greens right now, and I just really want to get some work done.
So how much maintenance was done during the interim when it was shut down?
Well, honestly, they weren't making any money in golfing, so they didn't want to spend much money. However, they did probably do a pretty good job. There's some consultants that came from Portland last week that are really some of the best field reps in Oregon for golf courses, and they were actually surprised how good a condition the greens were. So there's a lot of work to be done, but they did keep it at a maintenance level that it's not really impossible to come back and make it playable by April.
So what are April's kind of your goal right now, and then you mentioned May, but what are maybe in the first year, where would you want to be at this time next year?
Yeah. So, I was hoping to be on the property in like October, and I would be able to do a lot more things now. For example, bringing plants over from my farm to plant around the perimeter, things like that. But when you have weeds, you can't plant into weeds. So ultimately, the first year really going to focus on the golf course, bring it up to a good level. And in some ways, it's a kind of a blessing that we weren't able to bring my plants over for this winter, just because it keeps me focused on the golf course. And so the first year is really focused on bringing up the golf course to a really good level. And actually that's a 3 to 5 year process. There's only, we'll do really good in a year. But to really have a really quality course, it's going to take 3 to 5 years, and that's where we're going to go. As far as next winter, we start bringing in plants around the perimeter, start clearing out the brush, the blackberries, start planting gardens of rhododendrons, azaleas, hydrangeas, of course, flowering magnolias, flowering cherry, a lot of beautiful trees on the property. But if it's not a specimen tree, and most of them are, but if it's not a specimen tree, it's going to come down and be replaced with cherry or magnolia, something. Every tree, every inch of this property will be a showpiece. So if it's not a show, it's coming down and being replaced with something that is.
And that was the next question. When and you'll never be done, but when you're, I guess maybe in 5 years, what would you like to see it look like?
Well, so I want to see, again, I love big trees, and so we got these big glorious trees in Alderbrook, but it doesn't have much color, both in the spring, summer, and then in the fall foliage. So when I see the property, I want to see color. I want to see these great big beautiful trees, beautiful green, beautiful sand bunkers, beautiful greens. Around the perimeter as everything's blooming. In the spring and summer, you got all these blooming trees, blooming flowers, and in the fall you got all these color. So you have these beautiful green trees, and below it you got these orange foliage. So it's kind of like my second masterpiece. I've already painted one masterpiece, and now I'm going to paint a second one.
Yeah.
Hey there. So right now, again, the top priority is getting the greens in shape. So there's some bald spots. Last summer, the the pump was off for about a month, so there's some spots that kind of died. So there's some bald spots in the green. We need to kind of get some seed in there, get it set in the soil, some sand on top. I'm hoping next week we have a good weather break. Of course, we'll start mowing the greens tomorrow. Some good weather by hand. And I'm hoping to verticut the greens and get some top dress with the sand. That's the first step to getting a quality green is top dressing and verticutting. So again, we're pruning trees. You can do that in any weather. And with better weather, we start mowing the grass. We've got some drainage issues we need to take care of. So a lot of things to work. I'm kind of a perfectionist, so it's gonna be really hard for me to look past some of the problems because we've got to set our priorities and get things done that are most important. Hey, so we're hoping to open the restaurant probably around. It was the 1st of February, but things take a long time. So ideally, we're probably looking around the 1st of March now. And we're going to be serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I feel very fortunate to have Donna Phillips as one of our partners, and she'll be heading up the restaurant to try to serve a quality food in Tillamook that's good for the family. And one thing that, for a long time I tried to do this by myself and try to figure out a way to buy this by myself, but really fortunately or unfortunately, but I wasn't able to. It's just a lot of money. So I've got some partners, and I really feel like we've got a great team. I mean, outside is my specialty. I'm also good with website, things like that. But I have some team members that are fantastic and complement me very well. And I'm not really sure I could do this on myself with all the things that we have to get done.
What are your options then for golfers who want to come play once it's open?
Yeah, so we have a couple options. So one is, get to be a member. We also have just come in and for the public and pay green fees. So membership options, we have senior membership option. I think it's fairly reasonable. We have just an individual that's not a senior. We have family memberships. We have corporate memberships. And then we'll have green fees. We haven't set the green fees yet. We hope to keep things reasonable. But ultimately, it's expensive to operate a golf course. So, and quite a bit of inflation has happened the past 2 years. So, we're going to do the best we can to keep prices low, but we need to be sustainable as well. One thing we're really kind of pushing for right now, Adventist Health about a month ago sponsored hole number 1, and with that they get their name on that hole. They get advertising in our scorecards and on our website. And we're going to have a community pathway. So all the founding members, all the people that become members from now through April 1st will be a founding member, and also founding sponsors will have a community pathway with their name engraved on the pathway with really nice artwork. It'll be a great spot. We really see this as a community gathering place. And so those types of things will really help. But in any case, I think I'm really close to closing hole number 10. We've already got a couple other holes for corporate sponsors. So if you want your name out here and you want to be part of the story, to be told that you stepped up to help bring the golf course back for the next 100 years, I'd really encourage you to talk to me. So there's an extra 20 acres up on top that's zoned R&R. So there will be some zoning ramifications as far as my plans. But one of the good thing about the partners I have now is that, it's not our goal to, a lot of people, potential partners in the past, okay, we're going to log this and we're going to develop it. That's not really what we want to do. I really want to turn that into like a botanical garden, beecher gardens, things like that, something really special that will require some type of a change. Because this is recreation, I think we can kind of extend that there. It'll be a bit of a process, but we might want to add a hole or two up there, a golf hole. I would definitely want to hold weddings up there. Beautiful spot, but I really see that as a great place for a beautiful garden. And all summer long we have people trying to break into our farm to look at our flowers, and I've got this beautiful environment. I can add that same magic that I've got the Hydrangea Ranch here. It's going to be a very attractive place. So ultimately, we have a lot of community support, and I believe we can be a lot of people out here in April. But ultimately, we got to have people support us from out of town to make this all work. So we want to create a real great magical place that will attract people from out of town and out of state.
Hi, my name is Michael Freeman. I am one of the partners with Alderbrook, who, if you know this place, is a beautiful location. My responsibility specifically is with sort of everything that happens inside these buildings. So the golf operations, all the administration, finance, marketing, HR, but also working closely with Donna Phillips with the restaurant. We believe this is a gathering place for Tillamook County, and hopefully those from the valley and from other places to come in to have great food, great community, as well as enjoying great scenery.
My name is Donna Phillips. I am part owner in the Bunker Grill here at Alderbrook Golf Course. My role will be general manager basically of the restaurant to bring you good food and a great gathering spot. So what we're working on right now, the first steps were to bring in refrigeration to see what we needed to get fixed, and then we brought in someone who's an expert with kitchen equipment to see what we need to get repaired there. We need to get a few parts to get it going, and then we're working on the floor plan, getting all the tables set in space, doing an inventory of all of the products so that we can get this place open. I've had the beer guys here to see what beers we're going to potentially put on tap once we get our OLCC permit. And then I'm not sure where to go from there. And in here you have what we're gonna refer to as the Eagle Room. It'll be one of the rooms able to rent for the smaller banquets, meetings, and things like that, bridal showers, baby showers, fun stuff. And here's the other smaller banquet room, which has this fabulous feature with the sliding glass door, if I can get it open, that opens out to this patio, and you get all the view of the golf course. And here we're in the pro shop with where you'll get your cart rentals and your golf rentals and buy new tees and new golf balls and such. Check in for your tee time. And now you're in the downstairs part, and my husband has joined us.
Hi, I'm Joe Phillips.
The downstairs part of the Bunker Grill, where it'll be more of the club feel down here, and some events will be held down here, which then move into this beautiful patio. And now we're out on the patio where I envision several weddings and all other events, high school class reunions, family reunions. So, and it's beautiful out here. Okay, so what we're hoping for with the menu is we're gonna feature eggs Benedict on our breakfast menu. Our lunches will be eventful sandwiches, salads, a little twist on some pickled chicken, your steak pasta for dinner. Anything else?
Yeah, we're looking at opening around March 1st, probably, with a few events in February. Golf course is opening in April, of course. So that's the hope anyway, if we can get all the licensing and everything to go through by then.